evening. Welcome all of you. This evening we are going to have an important discussion on the work of the psychic being. So we are acquainted with the term psychic being. Without knowing psychic being, it is very difficult to go and progress into the integral yoga. Soul is the spark of the absolute. This is through this activation, through this dynamism, through the work, through the progress, soul becomes a psychic being. So soul and psychic being are whole the way of the same concept, but there are of course a little bit difference so far dynamism is concerned. It grows in the process of every birth. Soul comes for the taking experience and growing, progressing, and developing. That is the motto, and that is the purpose of the arrival of the soul. So psychic being, it is very much prominent. It is behind the heart center. It is well dominated, and in so far this integral yoga is concerned, psychic being plays the major part. Without contacting the psychic being, no sadhana can be done, no progress is at all possible. Anyway, the question is put before us, that is the work of the psychic being. Very interesting. It has been put two questions has been put before the mother. Two questions are asked to the divine mother. Exclusively, what is the work of the psychic being? That is the first question. Mother tries to narrate it in brief. What is the work of psychic being? You want to have some work. That's what mother asks. What do you want to say exactly? Mother puts. What is the function? Exactly what really you want to know? Because the question is put to the mother. What is the work of the psychic being? Mother asks, what is the work of the psychic being? Or you want to have some work? What do you want to say exactly? What is the function? Like this. Then mother tries to explain. Very well. One could put it this way: that it is like an electric wire that connects the generator with the lamp. Lamp is well inside. Generator is there, it is generating. So wire is there, you have to connect. So this connection, it is a vital one. Like you have got your transformation somewhere in your village or your locality, that electric poles are there is connection, and you have got the wiring in your house. You have got the bulbs, etc. Everything is there. So that the connection is also there. Like this, you want to put the light. Here mother gives example of the generator, and that it is like a electric wire. Psychic being is like a electric wire that is connecting the generator with the bulb. Generator is there, bulb is there. So this wire is known as the psychic being. So if someone is understood, let him explain. I said that's what. Bulb is there, it is not burning. Generator is there, it is generating. So the wire which is connecting the generator with this light, that is known as your psychic being. So here everything is ready, only this connector. Without this connection, without this wire, really bulbs will not burn, will not light. Again mother quotes, the generator is the divine, and the lamp is the body. So divine and the body, this connector is the psychic being. It is the body, it is the visible being. So that is the function, its function. This means that if there were no psychic in matter, it would not be able to have any direct contact with the divine. Like the balls are connected to the generator through the connector through the wire. So like this, it would be so direct contact with the divine is possible only through the psychic in matter. So it is happily and it is happily due to this psychic presence in matter. Psychic presence in matter, that the contact between matter and the divine can be direct, and all human beings can be told, you carry the divine within you. That is what you carry the divine within you, and you have only to enter within yourself, and you will find them. That is what the ball was there, the generator was there, psychic contact, that wire is there. With the connection of the wire, these balls are actually lighting. That is why the psychic and matter. That is for that only you are becoming conscious of the divine. That is what, in other words. Um, so the divine can be direct and very interesting. We will see that this psychic presence in matter, this psychic presence is matter. That is the contact of between matter and the divine. That is direct, and all human beings can be told. You carry the divine within you. Very much clear sentence. You carry the divine within you, and you can you have only to enter within yourself, and you will find it. You have to enter within yourself and you will find him. There is no doubt of it. And this is the criteria, this is the answer. Again, mother quotes, there is something mother tries to explain. Difficulties and the psychic being. We find difficulties, we face difficulties, we are among the difficulties. Difficulties are there inside and outside. So what is the role of the psychic being then? Mother quotes beautifully. Usually more difficulties he has. I think more psychic one is usually the more difficulty he has. No study, no confusion. If more study, more confusion, less study, less confusion, no study, no confusion. If psychic you are not aware of, more psychic one is, then difficulties are more. Only one is armed to face the difficulties. One is armed to face the difficulties, but the more the psychic one is, the more to be a contradiction with the present state of the world. Because this present state of the world is actually in a negative equilibrium. They are not coming, they are not intending to come to the positive side, so they are happy. And when you are more in psychic, then the problems, this contradiction comes to the surface. So when one is opposition with something, because this world is in friendship with its the ancient ignorance. It is well. It thinks, it feels that we are well. So when one is in opposition with something, the result is difficulties. If you can coincide, you can collaborate, then no problem. If you want to coincide, opposite, or contradict, then you will find difficulties. And I have noticed most often those who have many difficulties are those who are more or less close contact with their psychic being, because it will bring a big change in you. You have to throw out the ancient things. You have to come direct contact with the the internal world. So opposition, contradiction will come. Who is more in contact with the psychic being, naturally he will face more difficulties. Mother quotes again, if you want to speak out other circumstances, I am not speaking of the character, that's quite different. But of the outer circumstances, the people who have to struggle most and would have most reason to suffer are those who have a very deployed psychic being. Normal consciousness, they don't know what is psychic being. So even if the difficulties are coming, they don't know, that they are not that much awake, they are not concerned. But thing is that when you are aware of your psychic being and it is active, it is in the dynamic state, it is progressing in the path of evolution, naturally you will face these contradictions are coming, and the difficulties are more. So, first, mother quotes, the development of the psychic being has a double result, which is commitment. Development of the psychic being, in the first case, development of the psychic being has a double result, which is commitment. That is, with the development of the psychic being, what happens? With the development of the psychic being, the sensitivity of the being grows. Sensitivity of the being grows with the development of the psychic being. And with the growth of sensitivity, there is also the growth of the capacity of suffering. So once with the awakening, development of psychic being, next step is sensitivity develops, grows. Then with the growth of the sensitivity, next cause is growth of the capacity for suffering grows. But there is the counterpart, that is, so to extent to which one is in relation with the psychic being. one faces circumstances of life in an altogether different way, with a kind of inner freedom which makes one capable of withdrawing from the circumstances. That circumstance appears, arrives, so that you withdrawing, you make one capable of withdrawing from the circumstance and not feeling the shock of the ordinary way. सपोज झटका जोर से धीरे से लगा, जोर का झटका धीरे से लगा, if that is there, because you have the capacity to withdraw from the shock. That is what, if the shock, if it is there, psychic contact is, the psychic is open, naturally difficulties will come. And mother has given the 3 steps. One is your with the development, psychic being sensitivity grows. With the growth of sensitivity, suffering, capacity to bear suffering, that grows. Because suppose some big way, in a big way, some suffering, some shock is coming, and you have got the capacity with the growth of the psychic being to adjust up, to cover up. So, rather than the ordinary way, you can face the difficulty or outer things with calm, peace, and a sufficient inner knowledge, because that is not there in the ordinary people, but you have. So you face the difficulty of the outer things, not only inner things, because inner also they don't know, you know to some extent, and with you face the difficulty or outer things with calm, peace, and sufficient inner knowledge. Calm, peace, and sufficient inner knowledge, not to be troubled, then you don't get troubled. So on one side you are more sensitive, and on the other side you have more strength to deal with the sensitivity. So with the growth of this sensitivity, growth of the psychic being, that sensitivity is there. So with the growth of the sensitivity, you have the power to face the difficulties, capability to withdraw from the difficulties. Once it is there, 3 things develop in you. One is calm, second is peace, and the third is suffering in sufficient inner knowledge. With that, you can overcome. You can have the strength with this sensitivity, so that you can face all the trouble in a positive way. Again, the another question comes before us, that has been also put to the mother, the psychic and the truth. Does the psychic being identify itself with the inner truth? That is the question put to mother. Does the psychic being identify itself with the inner truth? Mother tries to explain. Of course, very interesting one, very typical question, and the answer is also that was tricky also. It organizes itself around it and enters into the contact with it. Organizes around it, around the truth, and enters in contact with it. The psychic is moved by the truth. That is only one. In with the growth of the psychic, you can think only of the truth. Truth is the center of spiritualism, heart of spiritualism. The psychic is moved by the truth. The truth is something, capital T, eternally self-existent and dependent on nothing in time, space, where the psychic being is a being that grows, takes form, progress, individualizes itself with more and more. That is what it has absolutely no relation on the super surface or outer things, nothing in time or space. Whereas the psychic being is the being that number one grows, second takes form, third progresses, fourth individualizes itself more and more. So in this way, it becomes more or more capable of manifesting this truth. With this, that steps I have shown grows, takes form, progresses, individualizes. With this, it becomes more and more capable of manifesting the truth, the eternal truth that is one and permanent. Capable of manifesting the truth, the eternal truth that is one and permanent. So the psychic being is progressive being. Already we have so it is a progressive being. It has come to progress. So in the process of evolution, it progress. It is a progressive being, which means that relation between the psychic being and the truth is a progressive one. Very interesting one. The relation between the psychic being and the truth is a progressive one. It is not possible to become aware of one's psychic being without becoming aware of some time of the inner truth. Without knowing the truth, inner truth, very difficult to know the, not possible even, know the psychic being. All those who have had this experience, not the mental experience, but the integral experience of contact with the psychic being. Most of the time they pretend that I have got my contact with the psychic being, but it is a forgery. It is a wrong conception. So you have to have the integral experience of contact with the supreme. So psychic being, not only the mental experience, not a contact with the idea they have constructed of it, but a truly concrete contact, absolute contact, concrete contact, integral contact, and all they have the same being. For the very minute the contact takes place, only is the absolutely conscious of the eternal truth. When this contact is there, they are conscious of the eternal truth within oneself, and one sees that it is the purpose of life and the guide of the world. So when this contact is the integral experience, you have to go and get, not the mental experience. And the second, psychic being, that integral experience of the contact with the psychic being. Then that the contact must be a concrete one. Then after some time, we will find that very this contact is taking place. You must be absolutely conscious of the eternal truth within within you. That is very much requirement, and one sees that it is the purpose of life and the guide of life, guide of the world. So this is the most interesting one and the most absolutely necessity one. So let us quote only a couple of lines from Sri Aurobindo how this psychic being really works. Mother course, psychics, yes, there can be no conversion without the awakening of the psychic being. Without the awakening of the psychic being, no conversion can be hold, no awakening. Without there is no conversion without awakening of the psychic being. For the conversion, awakening of the consciousness, psychic being is absolutely necessary. If it is the true psychic love, then faith goes with it. If there is entire faith, if there is true psychic love, faith goes with it. And if it is entire faith, then psychic love becomes soon awake. So psychic knows, while the mind, vital and the physical look only at the surface appearances and misinterpret them. Already Mother has quoted in the book, if you follow your mind, it will not recognize the mother even when she is manifest before you. So, what we have to do, living the mind, you have to come in contact with the psychic being. If you know you must your soul that answers to the truth, not your mind that looks at the appearances. So psychic is a must, and that contact is a must. Psychic fire fails in the strangling vital smoke. So vital smoke, it actually covers up the psychic fire. You must be knowing. The influence of the outer world are not favorable. Influence of the outer world is not favorable to the psychic contact and the psychic development. So we must be inward. We must stay inside. We must focus upon the psychic being, and when we are in contact with the psychic being, then only this yoga can be proceeded. So it is a very important concept that we must take care. Vande Mataram.